We're turning our attention this evening to Plateau, where key players are commending residents for conducting themselves peacefully during the local government election that held today. Senior reporter Funum Joshua, who's been monitoring the exercise in the southern part of the state, has more in this report.
Election officially kicked off at 8 in the morning. The officials of the state electoral body were on the ground to commence the process at the stipulated time. However, in some places, the smart card machine recorded some challenges that caused a delay in the process at some polling units. The peaceful conduct of residents before and during the exercise was highly commended by stakeholders in the state.
I'm glad I have just voted. The process is going on seamlessly, as you can see yourselves. And I'm sure that at the end of the day, God willing, the process is quite fast. In fact, faster than the beavers machine that we use in general elections. And I'm confident that before long, the long queue of voters will be cleared.
We also had very big challenge with the software that is installed in smartphones for the presiding officers to use. Most of the polling units, in fact, uncountable, complained about the malfunction of this software. And we had no option than to go back to Plateau. We sat with the EO and we have all entered into an agreement that people should vote using manual. And that's what is relieving the situation as at now. And quite a number of polling units, particularly in Wasi, have gone ahead to vote without the software.
Alhamdulillah, I have casted my vote in my polling unit at Jambar polling unit, precisely health center, and everything was peaceful before leaving the center to see things by myself. But so far, I have never seen any element of violence in the local government, in their constituency.
The exercise so far here in Plateau State is going on peacefully from the beginning to where we are at the moment. Residents, electorates across the state are called upon to maintain and sustain this effort in the interest of peace, progress of the state. Funum Joshua, TVC News, Wasi.
Joining me now is Special Advisor to the National Chairman of the APC on Special Duties, Mohammed Zakaria. I'll also be speaking with Chairman of the Plateau State Independent Electoral Commission later on the show. Mr. Zakaria, thank you for joining us on the program. Let's begin with your evaluation of how the election was conducted today.
Well, I would say elections started yesterday, not today. The actual election today, but yesterday was a distribution of materials which was perfect. But unfortunately, the election did not commence on time because they had issues with their apps. So after around 10 in the morning, we came to an agreement, or the electoral officer spoke to his chairman, and the chairman instructed that the app was no longer necessary and election commenced. However, we had issues
Mohammed Zakaria is speaking for the APC in this election. Mr. Zakaria, we lost you for a few minutes. Are you there now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, please go ahead. Mr. Zakaria, you were talking about the initial challenges with the conduct of the election and how stakeholders decided to go ahead.
As I said, for now, we had some little issues. As I said earlier, in the morning, their apps did not work, but the Plateau chairman was magnanimous. He now directed his people to do manual accreditation, and the election went on smoothly in some places. But as I also said, 2 wards I am aware of now, there was no elections at all. Yalung ward, there was no election. Gimbipina ward, no elections. But on the whole, apart from the attitude of most of the ad hoc staff, who were actually 90%, 98% PDP card-carrying members. The elections went well. But you see, with elections, it's not just the day of elections. It's when we start collection, then we'll start. Then we'll see what INEC, if it is Plastic, if it is going to do the right thing or they are going to do something else. Because for now, I think we can say the chairman has done well. He took decisive decision, and we are comfortable with what he did.
What do you make of the integrity of the process, especially with the manual accreditation of voters, which, of course, card readers, we understand, are meant to overcome the limitations of this process?
Well, as I said, until we start hearing complaints, what I've seen so far, it was okay. But I saw the people insisting on the right thing being done. I saw people queuing up. I saw people voting for their choices. So I have no complaint yet. I've not received any yet. Even though personally I wasn't comfortable with the attitude of most of the hard work staff, but it's politics. They were protecting the interests of their party, and I understand. But we are good. We are waiting to see the actual. You see, in elections, the actual problems always start when it comes to collation. That's the problem, and that's what we are waiting for. Because as I speak now, I've just been informed that one of the collation officers, I think for Lumber Ward, has refused to go. Have refused to go, but I think we've lodged a formal complaint so that if they will change him, they change him. If not, we'll see what happens. So we're still waiting. We're escorting them. We'll see what will happen. For anybody to tell you that he will judge INEC by distribution of materials, I think they did well. Even though one or two people were caught with result sheets and ballot papers and plastic stamps yesterday. I'm not sure what the police have done with them, but they were caught yesterday with such items, and that's putting some doubt in our minds as to the integrity of the process. But as I said, it's politics. We are waiting to see what will go on during the collation. We are confident from what reports we are getting that we've won this election in almost all the places that voting took place.
Yeah, but that's very optimistic of you in a PDP state, but I guess we'll wait to see how the results turn out like you have said. Plus, we understand extended voting time as a result of the non-functioning of voters' verification system deployed by the Commission. We're also reporting tight security alongside restriction of movement. In your opinion, how did security operatives fare during this exercise?
I've not encountered any difficulty with them, and I think they've done their work diligently. But as I keep saying, we're not really worried about the voting process. It has happened, and with all the mistakes, but it was okay. It is the collations that we're afraid of. For instance, I'll give you an example that happened to me, I think, in 2010 or so. We were waiting for collation in the collation center, and they announced results. Eventually, I got it back after 2 years of litigation. So these are things that we know can happen, and we're waiting. But if the Plastic chairman will continue with what he is doing, I think we are comfortable. But if some outside forces will influence him, then well, we'll wait and see. So there is no way we can just assess them based on what happened in the morning. Now we are getting to the night. That's where the issues are, and that's what we are waiting to see how they will behave.
Each political party is expected to have representatives during the collation process, but from what we've seen thus far in the previous local government elections held, not much of the details of the numbers were announced publicly. What is your expectation in this regard in Plateau?
Well, if going by what we had the governor told them in Shandam, and what we had the Plateau chairman said, maybe they will allow collation to take place and proper results to be announced.
So you're counting on the promise made by Mr. Governor, but can you confirm if your political party is ably represented at these collation centers across the state?
Well, I don't know across the state. I mean, I say now, I know we are going to be there. We have appointed our agents. In fact, they are at the Plateau ensuring that ward collation officers go to their wards. That's why I told you that one of the ward officers is playing tricks. But we'll wait and see. Wait and see.